hopefully. Why might you want to watch this video? If you are someone who is not quite sure um, why you might need a real estate agent. And you might think that that's pretty self-explanatory, but there are actually lots of people who don't like realtors and who think they don't need one. So I don't know, my video is kind of doing something weird here, so I hope that you guys caught all that. Um, Maybe my internet connection is not good, but anyway, what I'm talking about is why you need a realtor. There are a lot of buyers I've met, especially at open houses, who have told me straight up, well, we don't want a buyer's agent. Or who, uh, people I know who have done for sale by owner, who are like, well, we can do it ourselves. And everyone's able to make their own choices, but there are very specific things that I do and that realtors do that are actually a full-time job and that we're experts at. And so I just wanted to go through some of those duties today. And I'm going to talk a little bit about like kind of buying and selling and what we do during the transaction. But there are, why do you need a realtor, Joe? I'm going to tell you. Um, so there are a lot of things that I do for people that are not within a transaction. A lot of my past clients will call me and say, hey, should we replace the flooring in our kitchen? Or is it worth it to replace our windows? Or if we're going to choose between doing the bathroom or the kitchen, which one should we do? Um, and so there are a lot of things that people will contact me about that they're not looking to buy or sell immediately, or you just want to know what a certain house sold for in your neighborhood, or what something is worth that's been on the market for a while. It's like, hey, why isn't this house selling? Can you look into it for me? Um, there are a lot of reasons why people call me outside of a transaction, and I love it. I love being the go-to person to help people find information, help people get advice on what they are looking for. So anyway, let me jump into it. If you're a buyer, here's the services that a realtor is going to provide you. Um, Buyer education, first of all. So we'll sit down and talk about like what's necessary. There's a lot of moving pieces to buying a house, and so a realtor is going to be able to explain everything to you and give you all the information that you need. Basically, just be an expert for you to learn from. Um, a buyer's agent is going to connect you with a lender. I've got a really great lender, a few of them actually, but one that I really, really love. And all my clients who've worked with her have been super happy that they worked with her. So if you're not sure where to start, even with the lending process, your realtor is a good place to start. Obviously, we show property. We are going to advise you on offer terms. There's a lot of different ways that you can make an offer, and I'm going to have a different video later all about what can make a buyer's offer more advantageous, especially in this market. We are going to write the offer. We're very familiar with the contract and all the legal documents that have to be handled. We're not lawyers. I can't give you legal advice, and I can't interpret the contract for you, but I can walk you through it and we can talk about everything that has to be filled in, and hopefully give you some professional advice on that. Presenting and negotiating. There are some realtors who are not very good at that, and there are some that are. And so a good way to figure it out is if you're not communicating very well with your realtor yourself, they're probably not going to communicate very well on your behalf also. So make sure that your realtor is good at communicating. They're going to give you information. They're going to give info to all the pertinent parties of the transaction. So in a real estate transaction, you have the other side of the like the sale. So it's like going to be another realtor and another client. There's the title company, there's the lender, there's the inspector, there's the appraiser, there's all these people, there's the brokers. I mean, there's like a lot of people that need information, and a realtor is going to be the one to disseminate that information. And when I work on a for sale by owner, a lot of times they don't even know what I'm doing for them on their behalf behind the scenes because I've already sent their contract to the title company because it has to be sent for my people. And so that's something that if they didn't have representation or if they weren't working with their own realtor, like they would have to do that themselves. But I want to make sure it gets done, so I do it for them. Um, we also are going to continue all those documents. Like it's not just the contract, there's a lot more documents that happen throughout the way. And so we're going to make sure that all those get done and really carry all parties and all information through to closing. And so it's just a lot of information that gets juggled. And so if you're thinking about buying without a realtor, just know that every single one of those steps that I just described, if you're buying from a house that's listed with an agent and you just call that agent from the sign, they represent the seller, but you're like, whatever, I don't want my own realtor, we'll just go with them. Every single step I just described, they're doing that in the seller's favor. They're not doing that in your favor because they don't work for you, they work for the seller. So that's why it's really important to have a buyer's agent. Now, on the selling side, what a seller's agent is going to do for you, number one, is a proprietary pricing strategy. It's not as easy as just, well, what did my neighbor's house sell for? There's a lot more that goes into it than that. And I think a good realtor will understand buyer psychology and will understand why buyers are motivated to make good offers on properties. Um, Even in the seller's market, the buyers who or the sellers who do what good realtors are telling them to do are still going to get top dollar. So I had a listing this year that was some people, they were moving out to a different city, and they didn't really want to do much to their house. They just wanted to kind of move out and leave it. But some of the wallpaper was dated and like the colors in the house were dated. And so they wanted to leave it vacant, leave it old colors, and just put a sign in the yard. And I thankfully was able to advise them, like, hey, that's actually not best in your best interest. Like, you might have to spend a little bit of money on the front end to paint it and to stage it, but if you do that, you're going to make X amount more money, probably. And that's actually what happened. And of course, there were multiple offers. And just the better the marketing is, the better the outcome is. And so having an agent to be able to give you insider info on what those buyer psychology points are, like what is going to make a buyer offer you the most money the fastest, um, a good agent, a listing agent, is going to be able to advise you on that. And I think that's really where the money comes in. Like that's where realtors are really worth their money, is before the house ever gets listed, even just like getting it to that point and making sure that the product that's being put out there is what's going to make you the most money. Because let's be real, this is a house. Like we're not talking about like something like some other thing that you're selling. Like we're not talking about a garage sale, you know? We're talking about your largest investment. And so you want to make sure you hire a professional who can help you get the most out of that investment. You know, we're talking thousands of dollars difference. Um, Something else for sellers that an agent will do is a market analysis. Like I said, it's not just as simple as like, well, what'd your neighbor's house sell for? We're going to be able to look at everything that's sold on the market and the different features and the square footage. And we have access to all the information and know how to analyze all of it to make sure that we get the right price for your house. Another thing is to understand your net proceeds. There's a lot more that goes into selling a house than just paying off your mortgage. There's a lot of other costs, and a good realtor is going to walk through that with someone before they decide to sell their house so that they know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. But like I was saying, with listings, especially if you need a listing agent, the biggest thing that they're going to do for you is a marketing strategy, knowing how to price your property right and knowing how to get it to market in the right way at the right time to make you the most money. Um, and a lot of people, you know, want to do for sale by owners so that they don't have to pay commission. Um, and it winds up costing them more money in the long run because they didn't have the expertise to get themselves strategically positioned on the market in a place in a way that would make them the most money in the long run. Um, Once the house is listed, a good agent is going to have online presence. They're going to hold open houses. They're going to be showing the property to buyers of their own or people that they can find and source for that property. Negotiating is another big one for sellers. I've got a couple of negotiating strategies that are secret, I can't tell you about, but I've had a lot of practice, and it used to be a very stressful part of my job to negotiate, and now I kind of look forward to it because I'm experienced enough to know what works and what doesn't work. And then contract documents, meeting with appraisers, carrying it to completion, again, just like with the buy side, holding all that information and keeping everyone in the loop. It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job. That's why I work full-time. So that's kind of like what a realtor does for you in the buying and selling process. But like I said before, there are a lot of times that people ask me for things when they're not buying and selling. And I am so happy to provide that too, especially if you're someone who, if I'm your chosen realtor, do not hesitate to reach out to me. My phone number is 816-863-4642. Send me a text, call me. If you want to go to an open house, if there's a house in your neighborhood that just came on the market and you want to go see what it looks like inside, call me. Let's go see it. You never know. I'm always trying to do market research. That's fun for me. That's my job, is to be there for you as your real estate consultant. If you've got questions about what you should be doing to your house, or what's going to get you the most return on your investment, then give me a call, text me. I am not afraid to do a little bit of work, even if you're not going to buy or sell immediately. So that's all I got today. Sorry, I thought it was going to be shorter and it's over 10 minutes. So thanks for listening, guys. Joe, as always, thanks for your comments. Talk to you soon.